Have you been hurt and found it hard to forgive that person? My husband grew up in a family where grudges were nurtured for years. His father didn't speak to his brother for 20 years. My family was raised that you didn't go to bed unless you resolved in our family what you were upset about. And part of that was good, but the other part of it was that my mother learned to take abuse from my father, who was alcoholic. So between the two of us, we had a lot to learn from each other. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne, traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. Natural remedies have been around for hundreds, even sometimes 1,000 years, and they've stayed with us because they work. Here with me today is my good friend and neighbor, Kim.
Good morning.
And we're going to talk about forgiveness in order to love. Forgiveness doesn't mean accepting abuse from somebody. Abuse is never tolerated. Whether it is a child being abused by a parent or a teacher or bullied by another child, we are to protect those who can't protect themselves. We had friends, and their daughter was a lovely little redhead, but she was very sensitive about her red hair and freckles. And every time her dad would call her red, you could just see her cringe. And I wanted to just shake him and say, quit calling her that. Don't you see what it does to her? And I wish now that I had the courage to mention to him, because he loved his daughter. I'm sure he didn't do it in a mean way, but he wasn't observant of what it was doing to her. And we need to be more aware of what our words are doing to other people. Joking about things that may be hurtful is never condoned. Teaching children that they have the right to feel safe and loved should be a primary thing in every family. Not tolerating hurtful teasing in any way. We may think it is a way to help them to deal with the world, but do you really want your child growing up in a world that is hateful and mean and distrustful? Do you want fear of everything for her in order or him to be prepared for life? Fear is behind not being able to forgive. Fear of being laughed at or ridicule, fear of rejection, fear of being hurt. These fears keep us from feeling love. Fear is a stuck emotion, whereas love is free-flowing and has no boundaries. We are shaped by our environment and those people in it. If we grow up in an abusive household, more than likely we will either be abusive ourselves or we will shrink and be abused. Either way is no win. So where do we begin? I think it is important to begin with loving ourselves. If we don't love and respect ourselves, how can we expect others to do so? We are human and we make mistakes. We learn from those mistakes and try not to make them again. After we do something we aren't proud of, we either beat ourselves up or we say, okay, what is the lesson in this? What can I learn from this and how can I avoid it in the future? After we do something we aren't proud of, we either beat ourselves or say, okay, so we're going to make a decision on which path we're going to choose. Have you ever heard of the saying, you attract more bees with honey than vinegar? Well, it's true. And the thing is that if you are kind to yourself, then, good morning, Diane, then you will reflect that and people will be kind to you. So first step is to be kind to yourself and forgive yourself when you make a mistake. If you have offended somebody, apologize to them. I'm a work in progress, just as you are. Try not to repeat offenses, otherwise a person won't trust your apology. Forgiveness is about letting go of resentment and fear. What is holding you back from loving yourself and risking love from somebody else? Think about that. Maybe you could do some meditation on it, or perhaps do some journaling. Are you getting enough sleep? If you are sleep deprived, it is a major cause for people to get upset easily, for anger to spurt through. Sleep deprivation is really hard on the body. Herbs like hops, valerian, and passion flower are in a formula we call Herbal Sleep. Herbal Sleep can be found on my website, bornforhealth.com, and you can read all about it. It's a lovely combination. I'm going to just give you a little brief summary of the herbs that are included in it. Hops. Well, hops is an ingredient in most beers. Fox News came out with an article about beer maybe contributing to man boobs. Hops is phytoestrogen, and if it is sprayed with glyphosate, it's definitely going to be a double whammy to land on those estrogen receptor sites and cause havoc. However, organic hops can land on the receptor site and protect that receptor site from what's called xenoestrogens. Xenoestrogens are really bad estrogens that contribute to cancer, female cancer primarily. So you want to stay away from xenoestrogens, and those are found mainly in plastics. So drinking on straws, drinking through those plastic cups, especially a hot drink like coffee or tea, you're practically melting that plastic and then consuming it. And that's full of these bad toxic estrogens. So take your cup, pour it into a ceramic mug, a steel mug, anything other than plastic. So back to hops. The hops is a great herb. It's one of the ones that we have used for relaxation. It helps in calming the nervous system, and very beneficial for this particular, to add to this particular formula. And passion flower doesn't make you passionate. It's been used for centuries to calm nervousness and as a sleep aid. So don't think you're going to get any passion when you take passion flower. And it's used in Europe quite extensively. The other herb in this trio is valerian, and those people who are familiar with valerian will think of stinky socks, because it really is full of yucky odor. But luckily this trio is in capsule form, and you can take it and not worry about the valerian stinking. Most people will take it about an hour before bedtime, and it is famous for relaxing muscles, restlessness, nervous tension, and relieving sleep disturbances. And the nice thing about this formula is it's going to make you groggy in the morning, whereas drug sleep aids often do. So you've heard of people getting hooked on downers and uppers. It's because they take downers to go to sleep, and then they have to take uppers to get up in the morning to get their energy up again. And it's a horrible addictive cycle that you personally don't want to get into. And if you take herbs, you won't have that problem. The supplements I talk about in these classes can all be found on my website, bornforhealth.com. Just click on the Herb Encyclopedia, and it will be an alphabetical listing, and you can just plunk on the one that you're interested in reading about. There's all the research articles that have created the information. So it's very scientific and lovely to read. So if you're taking a particular herb and you want to know what's going on with it, just remember Herb Encyclopedia, bornforhealth.com. The topic in my Herbaligram this week is let it go. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't even say those words without thinking of the Frozen song, let it go, let it go. And unfortunately, she's not talking about forgiveness, but I think it's apt to say many times we have to just let it go. And those in the Christian world will say, let it go, let it God, because you have to give it up. And, if you give it up to somebody else, it's very, very helpful. So in my Herbal Egram, which is electronic newsletter sent out every Monday to about 600 subscribers. It's absolutely free. You can get on my list. Just email me, Dr. Mary at bornforhealth.com, and say free newsletter, and I will be happy to send it to you. Your email is strict confidential. I do not share it with anybody. These are sent by me, blind carbon copy, and nobody else knows that you're on the list. So I've had lots of really good comments on them. People have loved reading them. Usually you can get through the entire egram in about 5 minutes. So it really isn't very time consuming, and it's a wonderful way to start your week. So this Monday, when I was talking about letting it go, I was talking primarily about the importance of forgiveness in order to love, and I hope you read it. Be sure to click on hearts and likes if this is helpful information for you. If you have a comment, I'd love that. I will answer within 24 hours. And if you have something specific and you want to email me, it's drmary at bornforhealth.com, and I'll be happy to send you some resources and get you on whatever path you need to get to for better health. Lavender is a lovely essential oil that many people will diffuse to help them sleep. It is relaxing, and to most people smells wonderful, but there are people who do not like lavender. I think I personally do like it. Again, these sheets are found on my website. But one formula that is a combination of things is called Refuge Calming Essential Oil Combination. And it, along with lavender, has citrus, like orange, and it has Atlas cedar, Lang Lang, some vanilla. And so it is great calming formula for those people who aren't particularly fond of our lavender. And these are all organic and very wonderful to use, very beneficial in many ways. So in our bedroom, we have room darkening drapes. And it's really funny because there'll be bright sunlight outside and very dark in our bedroom. And I found this to be very helpful, especially my husband has this situation where his eyelids don't completely close, and it allows some sunlight in. And in fact, our granddaughter has the same thing, which I just recognized a while ago. We were talking about that. And 30% of the people actually have this situation. They just don't even know about it. They just know that when there's bright sunlight, they have more difficulty make melatonin. And so if this is a condition for you, then there are shades that you can get. There's drapes, like I said. We found it very beneficial. When we were in Alaska, they had them, and we actually brought clothespins to close the drapes so that seam it doesn't emit any light. So I don't know how they do it in Alaska with almost 24 hours of daylight. It just would drive me nuts. But they must have a really difficult time making melatonin. So creating the right sleep environment is very, very important. We have no computers, no phones are allowed in the bedroom, no TV, no Wi-Fi in the bedroom, because this EMF, electronic waves, can actually change your vibratory rate yourself, and it messes with your circadian rhythm. Now, I have some people who have a TV in their bedroom, and they have Alexa wake them up in the morning, and it's like, hello, have you not read about these EMFs that can affect your sleep, and they wonder why they've got insomnia. And so that's one of the reasons why you need to stay informed. Many of the news programs have been hijacked by the pharmaceutical industry and by those companies who pay for advertising, and therefore the news, unfortunately, is not objective anymore. It's subject to those people who put money on their and keep them alive, so to speak. So some of the other things you can do is don't eat just before going to bed, especially any sugar or coffee. Be sensible about what you're putting in your stomach and making sure that you're not trying to digest where all the focus is going to digestion, and instead of allowing your sleep patterns to improve. So one of the tricks I've learned to do is I count my blessings and say a little prayer that my day tomorrow will go really well. And I've just created a little mantra like that, and I fall asleep within 5 or 6 minutes. Now, there have been occasions, like if I'm going get up at 4 in the next morning and I'm a little excited or going on a trip or whatever. Well, I have learned to take herbal sleep for that, and it has really helped me to shut off the chatter that's going on in my head. So hopefully you'll find something that helps you. Another thing I love is the ashwagandha. I've talked about that before, and that helps me create a deeper sleep. I take that one every morning and one every night at dinner time. And I never used to be able to remember my dreams. Now I take it every morning. It's just wonderful. And it's a great antioxidant. It has a lot of other good, useful things, but that's one of the things it's helped me do. So the emotions of forgiveness, love, understanding, compassion, gratitude, peace, and joy help us heal, and they raise our vibrations. When your cancer has a very low vibration, when you're vibrating at that level, you're more subject to getting cancer. Heart disease rates goes at a certain rate. And so you need to raise your vibrations at every opportunity you can to say no to disease, that you just simply will not let it grow in your body. And one of the things that brings it down is this lack of forgiveness. And so forgiveness isn't about that person, it's about you. It's about supporting health in your own body and learning to let things go. And you need to change your belief system about this, because many people believe that if they don't take a whip and beat themselves into submission, they won't get anything done. But that's not the truth. We know now that being kind to yourself and loving yourself is where it is. So that's where inspiration will take place. And one of the remedies I've found to be extremely helpful in this is called Open Heart. And it's a flower essence. So it's something you take in by droppers. And I've devised a lovely cream. It's simply taking the hand and body lotion, and you fill up a little jar like this. This is a 1/2 ounce jar, and you fill it up, and then you put a dropper of the Open Heart and 2 drops of rose essential oil in it, and you mix it up, and then you rub it on your heart, on the chest wall where your heart is. And it's so soothing. And then take a deep breath, and that scent is so wonderful. Now, one of the Open Heart has 7 flower essences. Now, flower essences have no smell. They're simply gathered in the morning when there's still dew on them, and they're put in a bowl of spring water, purified water, and left in the sunlight for several hours. The sunlight actually takes the energy from that bloom and puts it into the water. And then it's done homeopathically and created in a remedy that you can take orally. You can also apply on the skin, but the ones that I use from Nature's Sunshine are glycerin based, which I love because it's great for elderly people, people with diabetes, those who are alcohol sensitive, babies, children. It's just anybody can use this formula. So one of the remedies in this formula, and there's 7, is California Wild Rose. And it is a great remedy that helps people who are lacking interest in life and love. In other words, they've been so damaged that they just don't care anymore. They have no will, no desire. They don't. Nothing excites them. And of course, they can't work on a relationship when you don't care. So they actually just feel empty. So this remedy helps encourage them to feel hope and try to see love, all that's all around them. Another thing that's in it is baby blue eyes. It's included in this formula for unresolved grief and sadness deep in the heart. You can just think about what that means, that baby blue eyes, just being the innocence of a baby again. So when there are problems with this, it can manifest as breathing problems or constriction in the heart. One of the other remedies is Star Tulip, which has the energy for people who have lost touch with themselves and can't seem to kindle inner calm. Basically, energy is all about them because they can't go within. They're filled with shame or guilt or blame or whatever, and they just don't like going there, so they're all about other people. And evening primrose energy is for those who feel a profound sense of rejection or feeling unloved or unlovable. It raises the energy to realize that perception comes from deep hurt and that it can be resolved. People with this imbalance often experience hormonal problems and trouble with weight management. The energy of pink monkey flower I had pink monkey flower growing in my garden one year. I just loved them. They were so much fun. And they looked like a little monkey face. They're really cute. But they're to do with shame or guilt, and they hide their deepest feelings of fear and difficulty by creating this mask of, look at me, I'm so happy and everything, but they're deeply inside. They're afraid of love. So a pink monkey flower helps to resolve that. And the last in this energy medicine is supporting love and trust is golden eardrops. This flower generates resolving repressed feelings of hurt and trauma from childhood events. It is a powerful heart cleanser and it opens the heart and allows for love to flow through. It helps a person gain perspective and understanding and often forgiveness in themselves and others. So that's open heart, and it's a lovely, lovely oral remedy that you can take anytime. Doesn't matter what medications you're on, you can take it. So I love this remedy, and like I said, it's wonderful in that cream. You can just rub it in, and if you're feeling blue at night, you could just rub it in. Actually, when I gave a talk to a bunch of women who had were recovering from breast cancer, and they loved it. It was just they could just feel the energy changing. So if you like the recipe, it was simple, but if you're confused about it, I will send it to you. Just send me an email, drmary@bornforhealth.com, and I'll be happy to write it down for you. So life can be a beautiful thing if you let it be. If you need some resources, please email me, and I will do my best to steer you in a direction that will help you be healthier. So here are some action steps. Learn a forgiveness technique. There's lots of them on the internet about how to forgive yourself, and start each day as a new day. Don't let the things of yesterday, they're in the past. What you can do about is right now. You have no control over what happened, and you have no control over what's to happen. You only have control over now, and now is where you want to spend your time thinking about. So take some Hope and Heart remedy and renew the ability to trust and love again. Share what you've learned. Recommend these videos to your friends so that people can find solutions that don't harm you or the environment. And keep focusing on gratitude. Be thankful for the people around you, the gifts of nature, and all the joy there is to be had in this world. And until next time, this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It.